So the St. Lucie locks aren't just for the RVers coming through Stuart, Florida. It's also the locks that are part of the Okeechobee Waterway, and a lot of your liveaboard great loop boats actually can moor up here at the locks also. As we can see here, we have a handful here tonight. You have the option of actually mooring up and paying a fee, just like a camper does. Now that was Laura and I's dream originally. We realized really quick once we retired that with 2 young ladies that would be awful hard on a boat.
We decided to go with plan B, which has been a lot of fun and worked out really well for us.
Yeah, we're traveling the US. We figure it's going to take us about 5 years in our 5th wheel, and those of you that are following the channel, thank you. Those that are not, check out the channel. We actually do reviews on all of the places we stay. Mostly is in the national parks, or like this right here, Army Corps of Engineer.
We do a lot of rec.govs.
And we do reviews, but we also do reviews of the areas. Hope you enjoy the walkthrough. This is a small park, but it has everything and anything you could possibly imagine. And of course, we'll tell you about what everything around Stuart and Jupiter, Florida offers. So just like most of your Army Corps of Engineer sites, you do have your entry here where you're going to pay your fees, get your assignments. One of the major differences is on this one, most of the Army Corps of Engineers that we've spent time at actually had gated, coded, or locked gates. This one does have a gate, but it's not locked. A lot of that is because of the fact that this park is actually open to the public. You've got pavilions for picnicking, fishing areas. There's a boat ramp you'll see here in just a moment. Plenty of parking. It's a very small park. There's only 9 sites.
There are 9 RV sites and 3 tent sites.
They have a lot of the areas around here set up for day use. What I mean by that is basically families come down here and use the picnic areas to just enjoy the water. This is the Okeechobee Waterway. Got a boat ramp right here for loading, unloading. All the sites have concrete pads. So as you come in, you have all your parking for your boats and trailers. Then you follow the loop around. I will say that if you can get the number 1 and the number 2 and 3 slots, you're gonna have the water view. I mean, you're right on the water within 50 feet, give or take.
But they are a little bit shorter, so I'm not entirely sure we would have been able to fit in there.
Yeah, number 1, 2, and 3, you're not gonna put a 35-foot rig in like we have, or larger. But if you've got something, I would say, I don't know, here's number 1. Just like any site, you have to be able to put your truck and your camper in your slot. As you can see, he kind of pulled over into his rocks there, which I don't believe you should be doing.
I think it's a no-no.
Number 2 coming up. All of them are at an angle, so when you back in, not so bad.
Your door's right on the water.
Yep. And here's number 3. You can see we have a Class C Spirit sitting here. So you could probably get 28-foot, maybe even a 30-foot rig in here. But then you have to think about the vehicle pulling it. We are unfortunately 50 feet combined. And just ahead of us, we have the 3 tent sites, 1, 2, 3, and then it just follows a loop with parking. Then we come around here to number 4, which we happen to be sitting in. The Arctic Wolf there, that's a 35-foot 5th wheel. And as you can see, we have more than enough room for a truck.
There is, your door's not on the water, but from our windows we have a beautiful view.
So then number 5 is the same length, and of course everyone has a pavilion. You have your fire pit and covered seating area. Number 6, come up on the right, and here's a good example of a Class A and its pull along sitting here. We have a Class A sitting with a pickup truck, a Z71, sitting in that spot number 7, and number 8 right next to it. These are probably the 2 closest ones I've seen, actually, because they are directly adjacent to each other, but the rest of them have more than enough separation between the campers. And if you're lucky enough to get number 9, as you can see over there, number 9 is by itself, off to yourself.
Well, I am going to say this about this park being so small. If you have fur babies that you don't want around a lot of other fur babies, pretty much every site is going to be a winner here.
Now they don't have full hookups. They have electric and water, but they do have a station up here on the left where you can dump at. And I gotta admit, the turn's kind of tight. And if you're using the dump station, no other vehicles can get past you because it is a one-way. And directly ahead of us in that Class A is the camp host, which is super nice.
No laundry here, but she gave us a nice list that shows closest laundromats, restaurants, any sort of amenities you might need, grocery stores, urgent care. And
directly ahead, this is the dump station. You can see it's a rather small one, singular, but it's got a tight turn coming in. At 50 feet, we really didn't have a problem, to be honest with you. However, this turn right up here, I did swing wide and I did get on the grass a little bit. And here are the restrooms to the right. Restrooms do have a shower with 2 stalls, and everything's really clean. Women's room, Laura tells me, is just as nice. And here's the book station. Leave a book, take a book. So I mentioned at the beginning that I would talk a little bit about what there is to do around Stuart, Florida and the adjacent areas. First off, we'll just do a little aerial view of the St. Lucie Locks themselves. And if you're staying here at the park, one of the things you can do is walk over and watch some of the boats that are locking through. It's kind of a unique event to see, actually, especially when you see some of the size of these great loopers that come through here. And it also gives you a really good view of just how pretty this area is. Now, if you're here during the winter time, it is absolutely awesome. Summertime, a little bit hot, mosquitoes get a little, bad, but that's what they make the DEET for. This view right here gives you a really good idea of the actual park itself and the 9 spots that are available here at the St. Lucie Locks. Now, I'm also going to transition into Stuart itself, and it's again going to be an aerial video. You might have noticed that I do like to play with my drone a little bit. And just for those of you that are maybe asking, I launched a drone over in Phipps Park, which is adjoining next door, so it was perfectly legal. Now this is Stuart, Florida, and I was just hanging out around the bridge and took this little short here. But if you go into Stuart, there's plenty of places to eat. The river walk itself, or some people may call it Confusion Corner, it actually has a lot of little restaurants, a lot of tourist attractions, several marinas if you just want to look at the boats themselves, and of course you got the nightlife. So Stuart has a lot to offer, everything from the beaches. There are museums there, especially out on Hutchinson Island. There is a oceanographic center located across the street from Elliott Car Museum. There's also art shows located in Jensen Beach and Stuart. And if you enjoy the nightlife, Stuart has plenty of that to offer also, guys. If you're here during the month of January, Stuart has an annual boat show. And this is just a quick short I did on a walkthrough. So if you're into boating, you're into fishing, offshore fishing especially, or backwater fishing, Stuart is the place to be, along with Jupiter and West Palm, of course. But the boat shows are always something to enjoy, even if you've never been to one. It's kind of neat. Now we're working our way up to Jupiter Inlet. I spent the day just hanging out at the inlet. There is also a lagoon there. This is just some of the boats that we're passing through. It's a nice day to enjoy or go to the beach. There's also a lot of restaurants in that area. Jupiter's unique in the fact that it has water just absolutely everywhere. That lighthouse you see there in the distance, that there is located on a Coast Guard, old Coast Guard post there, and even that is just awesome to go visit. You go up there and you can see the Atlantic Ocean and just miles and miles out there. Definitely a place you want to go visit. Not to mention, you got plenty of swimming area and the houses just to look at there on the island itself. Then a little further south, you got West Palm Beach. Now, West Palm Beach has everything you're going to want to even think about doing. Everything from shopping to the beaches again. But what's very unique is Peanut Island. Peanut Island used to be visited by President Kennedy, actually. There's also over there at the Blue Heron Bridge, Phil Foster Park, is a walk-in dive. So if you like to scuba dive, it's got a man-made reef there, actually. My apologies. That is supposedly one of the best dive sites in the United States. I go there quite often, my wife and I, whenever we're down here. Now, I ain't gonna talk about anything further, but of course you got Fort Lauderdale, Miami, which is quite a drive, but everything I've discussed is within driving distance. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Tell us what you think about, the way I put the video together. Just showed a little bit of what there is to do in the area that you'll be camping in. Okay, enjoy camping, live life to the fullest, guys. We only got one.